in your face. So accept that and move forward. But if you're having cake every dang day, then you might need a plan for that. If you have cake every day, or if you drink every night, and every morning you're hanging over the toilet, vomiting up Mad Dog 2020, then what are you going to do instead? Because you do this every day. You eat the cake every day. You let the noise crowd out your intention for your life every day. Every day at 5 o'clock, the tyrant one rolls in the driveway and you hear. That was his door shutting. And you know what's fixing to go down. And you start eating because it's a way to dope that down. Or you decide having a drink's a good thing right then. Or you decide, I don't know what you're doing. But if that happens again, and it's going to, because every day the devil arrives home at 5 o'clock or whatever it is. Every day you take your kids, your first graders, to the car line, then you take your bus riders out to the buses. You put them all on. Have a great day, Susie. Miss Murphy loves you. I'll see you tomorrow. Then you go down the back hall. And the back hall passes the workroom. And in the workroom are the toys and the celebration that there's something going on every day. And every day you said you weren't going to do that again, but you did. So instead, don't go down the back hall. Instead, when you take your kids out there, have your little, I don't know, your bag, your teacher bag on your shoulder. And in there is your snack. And on your way down, not the back hall, but the middle hall, you start having your snack. And you're thinking, that's right. This is that time that normally takes me down. And I knew it was going to happen again. And if it did, then this is what I was going to do instead. And here I am doing it. Do you realize the power in that? You've got the power. If then planning. If at 5 o'clock, when the devil came home, you knew it was fixing to happen. So instead of hearing that, you put on your headphones and you had the sounds of nature in your ears, and you couldn't hear that hail being hurled at you. If that happens again, then what are you going to do instead? You can't really go out of the house. You can't really not be there because your kids are there. And that's a problem. Because if they can't get you, they'll get your kids. See what I'm saying? It could be the worst situation in the world, and you can change your reaction. You can be proactive instead of reactive. You can be proactive, or you can be reactive. And it happens right here. It's the catalyst of your change is if-then planning. So your homework is going to be to do what I'm fixing to tell you. I want you to really think, and I want you to do this, okay? Maybe you don't have time today, but today or tomorrow I want you to do it. And you could be adding, even if you show one thing, you got time for that. And if you don't have time for that, you need to reroute your life. You don't have time to throw all your items in a blender to have your savory smoothie while the rest of your family had a 4-course meal or a country style cooking, but you didn't take time for yourself. Houston, we got a problem. And you've created that. And I had created that. You teach people how to treat you, and you know what the biggest sign of how they should treat you is? How you treat yourself. When you have self-love, you don't mind going out to a restaurant by yourself. It didn't bother me. I don't think that people think, why is that girl eating alone? That's what my mom said. Well, don't you think people think, why is she eating alone? I said, that didn't occur to me. What occurred to me was deciding where I wanted to eat and then going there. I didn't sit huddled in some corner on my phone or looking out the window. No. I sat in the middle where I could see everybody, you know? And I talked to people, and I listened in on conversations. I love to listen in. I love to look in people's windows too, like, especially in my neighborhood, because these are like old craftsman houses in here, and people like to have like no blinds. They'll have like these lace curtains you can see right in there at night, but you can see in like their decorations and stuff, and I love to see in people's worlds. But it's not nosy, okay? I just like to do it. Anyway, hey Amy, how are you? What are you saying about the vegan community? Very few, if any, people in the vegan community and raw vegan community are talking about the things that you're talking about in your simplicity, creating your own life. It's a beautiful thing. It's empowering. I feel like I might as well be 20 years old with all the knowledge I know, and my health is my backbone basis for manifesting any hopes and dreams I want in my life. And no one will stop me. Anyway, so let's look at this. Now, if then planning. First of all, do you realize, can you give yourself a cheerleading party today for being courageous? You know that it takes courage to actually want to change. How many people do you see trying to better themselves? Very few. How many people do you see complaining? Most of them. You got to do different to get different. You have to have the courage to change. When you take massive action, when you want to take massive action about something, okay, it can seem overwhelming because where you want to be is way over here, and where you are is here. And there's this huge Grand Canyon gap. So what you do is you use tips and tricks to help get you there, because you are really, honestly trying. It's a big vision of where you want to be from where you are now. That's okay. Because you are not just successful when you get there. You're successful this moment when you're showing up for this chat. You're successful in the moment you blend up your lemon water. You're successful when you had celery juice instead of crema latte fratte. Okay? You're successful when you chose self-love by being proactive and breathing when someone else was hating on you and you weren't reactive. You're successful when you break it down to moments. Moments plus moments, creating momentum to the greatest vision of where you want to be, your best version. I mean, you're going to come face to face with these moments that trigger you. You know that word? You're going to come face to face with those every day. If you don't feel like you can get it together and eat with your family, eat before them, like somebody in the group said. You don't feel like you have time to get your food ready and you got to make everybody else's, take your food, your box, what you were supposed to have for dinner, and throw it in your blender, like Karen says. Throw your box in your blender. Then all you got to do is sip. We're going to break it down in these next few weeks to simple strategies to help you replace these faulty patterns that you have. They're faulty patterns because they're not getting you what you want. Your results are in direct alignment with the actions that you take. You should be an acronym for something. I'm going to think about that. So again, making it happen or making excuses. That's what it boils down to. And you could even write in your journal, now why did I do that? Or why did I let my mind take me down this road to make an excuse? Because you can think, you know what, I just can't. This is, and then you could be typing, why raw vegan diets don't work? Oh, there you go. To support your idea, okay? Or, why raw vegan diets are healing? Why raw vegan diets create sustainable weight loss? Why raw vegan diets create mental clarity? There you go. To support your idea. Keep your mind focused. Because what you focus on grows, right? People know what to do, but they don't follow through. The world's too noisy. People are busy, being busy, getting nothing done. Busy looking busy. Looking for the next distraction. Wasting time. What are your trigger times? So here's some things for you to think about. What are your trigger times and what are some triggers, okay? For example, stress, like I just told you, the devil came home, stressful, or you're so tired from work and you're thinking to yourself, well, Tanya, nobody else cooks the dinner. Nobody else makes these kids do their homework. Nobody else. No, you're the micromanaging master of the world you've created. You know, nobody else vacuums this floor. Though you've got 3 teenagers sitting on their dead butt on the couch that won't even lift their feet. They're like, excuse me, I can't hear. You won't have nothing to hear when I cut off your service. Right? You've created that nightmare. So, okay, how about, is the snack in the afternoon your trigger time? A lot of times I find the time for people, it's those afternoon hours, okay? That's really like the twilight hours. There's a lot of noise, a lot going on, a lot you still got to do. Your willpower is lowered because your stamina's lower. You didn't plan, all those things. Willpower is a farce, okay? A plan is real. You have your plan. Do your plan. Get your results. So start thinking, what is keeping you from doing your plan? Ultimately keeping you from getting results, right? So is it that snack time? You got to prepare. Before you put that M&M in your mouth, that one M&M that is going to plummet you, the power of one M&M, because it changes your whole thoughts about you. One M&M makes you a liar to yourself. And if you had it, think, whoa, this is that time. And turn that into success. You draw in your journal the little M&M. Then you draw a circle around him and you throw him off the page, because that moment's over. And that one M&M is not a family size bag.